people from all walks tend to the drugs culture, and we are still continuing to. We'll be looking at what the reasons for taking drugs are, what kind of support we can all give to those who choose to take it, and what are the alternatives to what has become a formidable culture. We uncover this and more only on Women's AM. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sisters. Good morning and welcome to your morning dose of Women's AM, the show that brings to you great topical discussions, analysis on the stories of the day, reviews and competitions, and a great team of sisters to brighten your morning. I'm your host and Adama. We have Sister Liz. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Liz.
Walaikum salam, sis.
And we'll be having our special guest later on for our main discussion, Jessica Hardwick. SubhanAllah, I was thinking about how time flies so quickly, and our lives are just literally like a dot on the map, aren't they? So I'd like to know from you exactly where would you like to see yourself in 5 years' time?
Wow, that's such a good question. When I think about myself in 5 years' time, I think about myself 5 years ago, and like you say, it seems like no time at all, doesn't it? But I really hope to make the most of every minute that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me, and the main thing that I've kind of got on my radar is my tajweed and my memorization. Every year I kind of try to get through the juz amma, and I find it hard, so inshallah I'll make it easy for me.
Inshallah. Well, whilst I wouldn't want to be sort of within my age, mashallah, I'm not too well, but alhamdulillah, I mean, I like yourself would love to be able to memorize the Quran within 5 years' time as well, and it was always one of my dreams to maybe open an orphanage one day. Back where I come from, because we only have like one children's hospital in Sierra Leone.
Oh really?
And, just one children's hospital, which is like quite sad. But yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go on with it, inshallah. Well, we'll now go to our first segment of the day, News Bites. In this segment, we take a look at a diverse range of articles and stories, and you can tell us what you think about them by calling in. The number should be on the screen shortly. So I'm going to come with you for our first article.
Well, this article comes from BBC News. Sad story, I'm sure we've all read about this. Pupil's war death prompts checks across Edinburgh schools. And this is obviously the tragic case of a 12-year-old Keane Wallace-Bennett, who, unfortunately, a wall, a kind of unstable structure fell on her while she was at school, and she suffered serious injuries and unfortunately died later on in hospital. Obviously as a result of this, there's going to be a kind of huge increase in the checks and things like that. Lots of statements being made, by the Prime Minister and kind of other people in government about obviously how tragic this is, but how they're going to move forward from this. I think obviously the thing is that it shouldn't ever have happened in the first place, but the fact that it has happened, we need to be making extra careful that these things are being checked. When you take your children to school, you expect them to be safe.
Absolutely. The security of the children are absolutely foremost of importance.
Absolutely. They have a duty of care over the children, and things like this, they should be checked.
It's absolutely tragic.
It's not that you wait for something to happen and then you check it afterwards. You can't assume anything. You must always make sure that any structures, anything that they're kind of undertaking at school is going to be to the highest standard safety-wise. My heart really goes out to the family. Saying, we're going to move forward, we're going to make sure this won't happen again.
But it should never have happened.
It should never have happened. I'm sure that's little comfort to them. So it's really, really sad.
And there may be an inquiry definitely into exactly whether the school even knew about whether that wall was actually crumbling as well, and what would be the offset in respect to other schools.
Absolutely. I mean, they did make the point that within the past 2 years it had been checked. All the guidelines that were there had been fulfilled. So it kind of calls into question some of these guidelines, and maybe there needs to be a sort of larger overhaul in terms of those checks.
It's really, really sad story. We've got another story that I found in the Metro, and reads, "Teacher saves sick pupil by giving her his kidney." And I thought this was an amazing story. It's trending on Facebook and on social media as well. And basically, Reiko, who's the father of one, 53, stepped in to help in Alia Ahmed Ali, who's only 13, which was, you know, amazing that he had that sort of cause to help her. And she suffers from water on the brain, which leaves her with learning difficulties and the risk of renal failure as well. And there was one point where she was going to be absent from school last summer as a result of going through the treatment of kidney dialysis. And he, you know, he was inspired to help her, you know, and he just felt that he had to help her. And it's really sad that not really sad. It's really sad that, of course, she's gone through this at such a young age. But it's really great that, you know, somebody from outside of her family helped her. Because when I think about giving kidneys, I always think family members tend to do that because that's, you know, that's the normal thing that happens, isn't it? But it was somebody who was a complete stranger, who was her teacher effectively, but a stranger, and it happened in London as well.
I mean, how lovely. I love this story. You know, I read this this morning on the train on the way here, and, you know, what a great start to my day, just really uplifting. You know, he was just completely selflessly. We have to remember, it's not like giving blood. It's not like, you know, you're in the morning and out in the afternoon. It's a big procedure. You know, I think they're both in recovery now, aren't they? And alhamdulillah, doing well, and expected to return to the school, inshallah, after the Easter holidays.
Which might seem, I thought it seemed a bit quick, but, you know, they seem to be doing okay. So
yeah, well, if they're doing well, they should power on.
Okay, what's our next article?
Okay, our final story this morning comes from The Guardian. And the headline reads, Miley Cyrus criticism led to Twitter death threats for Radio 1 presenter. You know, again, an upsetting story. Basically, this was Jamila Jamil, who is a BBC Radio 1 presenter, and she made a comment about, you know, Miley Cyrus and the whole, you know, sort of twerking, how this objectification of women's bodies used by women like her and people, you know, in the kind of pop industry to further their careers, you know, is actually a negative thing. And although they've kind of try and sell it as something that's empowering them and they're taking ownership of their bodies, you know, she actually makes the, you know, the comment that actually, in fact, they're not doing this. What they're doing is perpetuating something that's created by men. So they're actually, you know, far from empowering themselves, they're actually kind of playing into this negative, you know, stereotype, this negative image of women, which, you know, no good can come from it, basically. And she also makes a really good point that actually women have got a bigger platform now than ever before, you know, in terms of representation in, you know, the media, the pop industry, film, all that kind of thing. And yet this is what we're using it for. You know, it's such a shame, isn't it? And I know it's points that we've made again and again on this, you know, on the show, but it is something that keeps coming up again and again, isn't it? And it does bring into question this whole issue of social media. Again, a point that I know we've made a lot, but it's like it's okay to threaten somebody in the most violent and disgusting way.
There's been so many stories of celebrities and people, you know, ordinary people alike as well, who've been trolled and received this, and it's really, really, you know, sort of degrading, definitely mentally, because I mean that is a space where you should be able to express yourself, and that is absolutely fine. But to get death threats at the same time,
I mean, it's not on, is it? It's not, you know, this is the whole thing. People want freedom of expression, but then when you exercise that right, you get attacked from it.
And I know in previous shows we've spoken about, you know, what can social media do? You know, what can organisations do to kind of, you know, sort of put a stop to that? It is a very difficult and blurred. It is. Blurred situation. Isn't it?
It is. But I can imagine very frightening for, you know, for the person it was directed at.
Well, thank you for those articles. It was really interesting, mashallah. Well, we'll be going to a short break now, but before that, here is a reminder of the competition that we've been holding for you this week.
This week on Women's AM, we are holding an exciting competition for you sisters out there. Up for grabs is an Islamic swimwear attire for women. To be in with a chance to win this fabulous goodie, all you have to do is answer the following question. Who was the first person to take the Shahada after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? A. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, B. Khadija radiallahu anha, C. Ali ibn Talib radiallahu anhu, or D. Aisha radiallahu anha. To enter, email your answer A, B, C or D to womensam@islamchannel.tv, along with your name and address and what you most like about Women's AM. The deadline for the entry is Friday the 4th of April 2014 at 4 p.m. All applicants need to be over 18 and residing in the UK. Please note only one entry per person per household. A winner will be randomly selected from all correct entries and the winner's name will be announced on Monday's show. So get entering!
Don't go anywhere as we'll be taking a look at how drug abuse affects the community at large and what support is out there. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Hajj, a journey to the blessed land, a journey to the house of Allah, a journey you will never forget. To perform this spiritual journey of a lifetime, start saving with Oasis today. Invest in your future. The Oasis Crescent Way, the compliant way. For more information, visit our offices at 50 Hands Crescent, Knightsbridge, or call us on 0808 238 7543.
Muslim Hands presents its third sponsored trek to the Great Wall of China to support the needy and orphans of sub-Saharan Africa. Join this fantastic 45-kilometre challenge across one of the world's most amazing structures from the 30th of May to the 8th of June 2014. You will walk remote sections of the Great Wall over 4 days to help provide education, medical care and a brighter future to the less fortunate. Join Muslim Hands on this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Register today at muslimhands.org.uk or call 0115 911 7222.
Travel made easy with Travel Pack, established for 30 years, with exciting offers on flights, hotels and holidays, with a wide range of destinations at great prices. For the latest flight and holiday offers, visit travelpack.com.
Attention! If you have suffered an injury as a result of an accident, here's an important announcement. Due to recent changes in the law, some solicitors could charge you up to 25% from any compensation you receive, but Claim 500 deduct nothing. So you keep every penny, every pound, every bit of compensation is yours. Make sure you choose Claim 500 to handle your claim. And remember, Claim 500 guarantee you your full compensation if you win. So make the right choice. Call 08458 123 456 now or go to claim500.co.uk.
Welcome to Aziziyah Restaurant, a unique and traditional restaurant based in the heart of Stoke Newington, right beside the Great Aziziyah Mosque. We are here to serve you delicious, authentically prepared and 100% halal Turkish food, from incredible cold starters to mouth-watering mixed grills. Aziziyah has a unique and friendly atmosphere, with options for floor seating and closed cubicles for privacy with your family and friends. Call us today on 0207 254 7475.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters, and welcome back from the break. I'm your host, Adama, and we have sisters Liz, and we have our special guest for today, Jessica Hardwick. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. You're a manager from the Kolb Centre.
Yes.
That is an outreach organisation for people who suffer from drug addiction. And I mean, what kind of ventured you into going into this kind of work in the first place?
It's just something that I wanted to do. Substance misuse was an area that I was interested in.
Yeah, it's quite rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's very challenging.
quite a specialist subject.
I've worked in a similar area myself, but it is very rewarding, isn't it?
It is.
So in terms of the Kelp Centre, what do they offer in terms of for addiction, treatments for addiction?
Well, we have a counselling service
Yeah.
for some substance misuse clients and an outreach team. So we have them in 2 boroughs. We also have day services in Tower Hamlets as well. So it's been going 20 years.
That is a huge milestone, isn't it? Wow, and it's done so much for the community at large as well.
Yes.
And do you find that women are more affected, or men are more affected through the data that you guys have in terms of drug addiction, or is it men? Men?
Well, I can't say that with certainty. Men are more represented in treatment.
Yeah.
Females are very underrepresented in treatment services.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
there's there's a social consequences for women going into treatment. We're working on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working on that.
Yeah, we'll discuss more about that in our next discussion as well, inshallah. So we'll now go to our main discussion of the day, where we look at why people abuse drugs.